Well, hello, and a very happy Friday and a very happy Veterans Day to you wherever you are tuned in across Beaconville. It is time for some NEHC hockey. Your UMass Boston Beacons looking for their third win in 4 games on the season and trying to get back on top of 500 in the NEHC, hosting the Salem State Vikings, 0-2 on the year and still looking for their first win on the season. A quick look at the side-by-side comparison between these two teams. Beacons slightly better, 2-1. They did lose 10-0 in their most recent game. That was against nationally ranked Norwich, and so 1.7 goals per contest. They've allowed 4, have yet to convert on the power play, but they have taken 7 more shots per contest than has Salem State. The Vikings, just 2 goals in their first 2 games. They've allowed 2 and 10, respectively. They are 1 for 8 on the power play on the season, and they have taken 15.5 shots per contest, but that number is because they took 27 shots in their first game, a 4-2 loss versus William Smith, and they only mustered 4 shots on goal in that 9-0 loss versus Elmira College. One quick look, 2 defensemen, our main matchup to keep an eye peeled on tonight. Margot Butters in her sophomore season out of Washington State, one of 5 goal scorers on the season for the Beacons, has a plus-minus of +2 in her 3 games played on the year. And then Catherine Louris, a grad student defenseman out of Guilford, Connecticut. She has 1 goal on the season, one of just 2 goal scorers for Salem State, a -2, but that's an impressive number considering that she only withdrew a -1 in that 9 goals allowed performance against Elmira College. It's going to be time for the national anthem momentarily. So what we will do here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, we're going to take a very quick break, and when we come back, the starting lineups, keys to the games, goalie matchups, and more. It'll be the Beacons and Vikings after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
And we have some hockey coming your way in just a couple of moments. Real quick, let's take a look around the New England Hockey Conference. A lot of action across the NEHC tonight. New England College, the Beacons were victorious against the Pilgrims earlier on this season. They head to Plymouth, New Hampshire, where they take on Plymouth State, that game at 6. William Smith, the Vikings lost to William Smith their first game of the season. They lost to Elmira their second game of the season. Those two teams taking on each other in Elmira at 6. Norwich heads up to Castleton, that game starting at 6. And then the one game puck drop at 7, it's Southern Maine in Providence taking on Johnson and Wales. A look at the 2 head coaches taking on each other tonight. Danielle Blanchard trying to get back on top of the 500 line. This is her second season. She went 12-13 in year number 1, 2-1 right now, so she's 14-14 in her career coaching record, trying to get career victory number 15 on the night, and even better, move to 3-1 at the start of this young season. Julian Giantonio making his 3rd career start at head coach. He replaced Salem State's previous coach, Malcolm Sperling, in this offseason. Sperling coached the last 4 seasons for the Vikings, going just 21, 81, and 8, and so this is Giantonio's 3rd chance at his first career head coaching victory. We'll take a look at the starting lineups here. For the Beaks, it's their top line: Hannah McDougall, Katie Wilbur, Kaylee Kozik, Gabby Schatz, Addie Buddington, the two defenders, Victoria Kennedy in net. Puck is dropped, and we are underway in the Edward T. Berry ice rink. Beacons win the faceoff, and they turn it over into the neutral zone. So it's picked up by the Vikings. The Vikings wearing a very crisp road uniform similar to the early 2000s Edmonton Oilers jerseys. They have orange sweaters with navy pants, navy sleeves, navy numerals with white trim, orange numerals on the sleeves with white trim. That's a great look. The Beacons in their home white sweaters with black shoulder plates, blue numerals, black trim. And so the puck's still in the offensive zone. Katie Wilbur wheeling. She's going to put one in. It's deflected in front of the net by Isabel Besser, first line right wing for the Vikings. And finally, Salem State gets it out of the zone. Allie Riefler chops in, tries to keep it in for the Beaks, can't do it. And finally, walking it out of trouble for the Vikings is Kathleen Lawrence, but not for long. Riefler, stolen puck, centering pass, it's deflected, doesn't get to the front of the net. Liz Cramp administering the body pressure on that play. Back at the point, rip slap shot by Maggio, gloved out of the air by Hannah Avaney, the team's starting goalkeeper. She's a senior. Played and started in 13 games last season in a timeshare with junior Kaya Hollingsworth, and Avaney carving out her role, getting the start in net tonight. One shot on, one save made. Beacons 2 face-off wins in a row here. That one's sent in, it's deflected in front, puck still loose, backhanded in front. And Hansen, she scored a goal already on the season, has Emily Hansen, couldn't put that one back on net. But a nice set of chances generated by the Beacons on offense. 2 shots already, testing Hannah Avaney twice. That one lifted, not out of the zone by Liz Cramp yet. She went all the way back to help out with a forecheck and now turns it over in the defensive zone. Almost has gotten it back. It's still not out of trouble, and finally carried out of trouble by Emily Hansen. Abby Stanford walking it in down the left wing. Shot lifts up on Victoria Kennedy. Kendra Courier was the one that sent it in. The grad student defenseman out of Middletown, Massachusetts. 1 shot, 1 save for Victoria Kennedy, who is heading into this game coming off of a stellar sophomore season last year for the Beaks. Kennedy's numbers, nothing short of spectacular. Started in all 25 Beacons games last season with a 2.25 goals allowed average, 92.6 save percentage. You're not going to find numbers better than that at most levels of D3 hockey, let alone the LEC. This one deep in the corner, sent centered towards the middle. It's still alive down there is Anna Gustafson. She tried to slot one back towards Emma Webster. Webster couldn't come up with it. That's a great hustle play there to be kept into the zone by freshman Maya Boyd. And the Beacons get it out of trouble, but it's still in neutral ice here. We're 2 minutes, 15 seconds into the first period. Beacons 2-1 on the season. Vikings 0-2. That one's turned over in neutral ice here, and walking it up, Jessica Robert. She does have a goal for Salem State on the season. Jessica Robert, Catherine Lawrence, the 2 goal scorers for the Vikes up to this point. Wheeling it around, sophomore defender Margot Butters, and she'll send it all the way down the ice. Now, the attempt on it was made by Brenna Green, so no icing here, and walking it back up the other way is the Vikings. That pass onto the stick of Jessica Robert, but she can't evade the speedster, Kaylee Kozic, who races right with her down the left side board. This one's into the slot. Thought about a centering pass. Instead, the shot, if you want to call it that, slid through by Isabel Besser and wide of everything. And now, head full of steam for Katie Wilbur. 1 goal on the season, team's second leading scorer last year, leading returning scorer. Got down the flank pretty well there, but her angle was cut off. Kaylee Kozic on it. Deep in the right corner now. Pressure fell from 2 Vikings. Really nice kick play there by Isabel Besser, as that was Katie Wilbur poking her nose in there, trying to break the puck free. No play to be made, and so the puck's still not cleared out of trouble by Salem State. Wilbur hands it off. Webster, centering pass, scores! Kaylee Kozic right in front. Webster with the primary assist, and that was all started wheeling around by Katie Wilbur. She gets the secondary assist. At the 3-minute 31 mark of the first period, it's Kaylee Kozic from Katie Wilbur and Emma Webster. And the Beacons do get out in front to that early 1-0 lead. So we're back underway here. Salem State winning that faceoff. Kaylee Kozik, her first goal of the season. Katie Wilbert, Emma Webster both getting the assist, and that's a great start for this Beacons offense. And that line, Wilbert, Kozik, McDougal, scheduled to be on the left wing. That was probably the product of a line change. So productive last season, both Wilbert and Kozik with 9 goals each to their name, and it took them just 3.5 minutes into this contest to get the first goal of the afternoon. Now they're back on it. 4 face-offs so far in this contest, 2-1 by each team. That pass attempted to get slid back to Franciscowicz, Emily Franciscowicz. She couldn't keep it in. Nice diving play there going down to one knee by sophomore defenseman Gabby Shantz. She'll retreat, look back up in the direction of Kristen Briggs. Briggs skates over, tries to dangle on through, loses it into the middle, and it's carried out by Ashlyn Bennett. Bennett tries to slide a pass through, and now a little bit of an outlet here. Angle kind of cut off, and Abby Stanford nothing to do except dump it into Victoria Kennedy. That's just the second time VK's had to touch the puck. There's a collision in front, and the Beacons get very lucky. Shantz and Kennedy colliding with each other. It sends the puck into a dangerous spot in the slot. No shot on net. The Beacons can exhale. You know that Coach Blanchard is not a fan of that. But the puck's still loose underneath. Cramp fighting for it in front. Slap shot wound in by Maggio, and it's blocked nicely on the play by Abby Stanford, but it's still alive in the Beacon zone. Maggio looking in front, carrying it into the corner is Hansen. Around the outside boards they go. Riefler applying pressure, comes up with a turnover. Wrister in the slot, reached out, and a glove save made by Hannah Avani. And that'll put a stop to play here, 5 minutes and 15 seconds into the first quarter. This and every broadcast brought to you by McCourt Construction. Based in Boston for now 120 years, McCourt Construction is one of America's premier general contractors. McCourt Construction, building America since 1893. We're back underway. The Beacons winning their 4th face-off of the afternoon. They're up 1-0 thanks to a Kaylee Kozik goal from Emma Webster and Katie Wilbur just 3.5 minutes into this contest. And that's a line that everyone around Beaconville expects a lot out of. It's young players. Katie Wilbert, she's a junior. Webster's a freshman. Here's a player out in front, Jessica Robert, around Kennedy, and Kennedy is able to sprawl out to her right and get that puck out of trouble. Not entirely out of trouble as it's turned over into the zone. How about Jessica Robert, man? That's her second time charging down the ice, making something happen for the Vikings. She puts that one in on net. It's off the side of Kennedy, sent up the ice by Isabella Henningsen-Brown, turned over, but no trouble as it's back to the Beacons. Well, we've seen a lot of action in the first 6 minutes of this contest, and most of it has been in the Viking zone defensively. Here's Hannah McDougal, one of the team's captains, stopping on a dime across the red line, looks for a centering pass. Nobody there as the Beacons opted for the line change. Great hustle keeps it into the zone thanks to Kaylee Kozik, just back into the contest now, and she'll come upon a loose puck. 3-on-2 for the Beaks. Kozik, toe drag, shot, and it's just saved by Avani. Very nice play by Hannah. That one in front, and on the doorstep was Hannah McDougal. She couldn't get to it in time. 2 golden scoring opportunities again for the Beaks, but they're right back on it. Kozik walking it across the center ice. Over the blue line now, still dancing with it. She's so hard to stop with that speed. Wraps it around behind the net, goes for the centering pass. McDougal skates onto it, back to Butters. Wrister scores! Katie Wilbert might have got a stick on that. It was either a deflection goal for Wilbert or a goal from Butters at the point. And let's see. Margot first at the handshake line, and for the time being, let's give it to her. Margot Butters, her second goal of the season, with Katie Wilbert in front, and we'll get the official scoring for you momentarily. How about that, guys? Not even 7 minutes into this contest, 6 minutes and 50 seconds in, and Margot Butters appears to have scored her second on the season with a beautifully placed wrister from the blue line. She had bodies in front. Katie Wilbert was one of them, and it gets through. And so the Beacons up early 2-0. We'll have confirmation from that goal momentarily, but they're trying to apply the pressure here. This is a team that just ceded 9 goals in its last contest. Head full of steam across the blue line for Emily Hansen, but she turns it over. And now Carolyn Mahoney trying to capitalize, but instead it's picked up by Emma Webster. The youngster already has an assist to her name tonight. That one's turned over at neutral ice. Finally, Salem State gets it out of a little bit of trouble, but that will be an icing, and so the Beacons get to walk it all the way back into their zone. So same 5 for both teams. Salem State not allowed to go with a line change here. Beacons keeping the 5 on the ice. It's Liz Cramp next to Emily Hansen and Allie Riefler. That's a mesh of the second and third lines for the Beaks, and they win the faceoff. Around the perimeter they go. Deflection, Riefler, wrister, deflected in front, still loose. Riefler got to it again, and that shot attempt goes wide, but oh my goodness, are the chances piling up here in this first period for the Beaks. Not out of trouble yet. Cramp kicks it, keeps it in. Toe drag, can't get the wrister off. It's deflected back. Shot by Webster, almost got through as Hansen was on the doorstep. Now they try and wheel it back around. Hansen can't get to it in time. Vikings still vying to clear it from the zone. And it's back into trouble here with Hansen in front, chopping at it. Really nice play there as that one's lofted off the top of the dasher, but it's still in the zone. Parati couldn't clear it. Bouncing in front. Hansen on the doorstep, couldn't get a stick to it. And finally, the Vikings are able to get it out of the zone, but not for long. Riefler with a poke check. Riefler has Hansen to her left. Riefler shot off the side of the net. That one almost got through. Hansen on the doorstep. Cramp looking for the centering pass. Here is Webster on the right point. Walks it in. Scores! Webster put it in front. That was Hansen in front of her. Once again, it depends. Was it deflected? If not, give the goal to Emma Webster. She's first in the handshake line, and so Emma already with a goal and an assist. The extra defenseman out of Appleton, Wisconsin, having herself some clutch minutes. 8 minutes and 21 seconds into this contest, folks, and the Beacons are leading 3-0. If that is Webster's goal, it will be her first of the season, and they go to get that puck to give it back to Emma Webster. Timeout on the ice taken by Salem State, so we will take a break and be back right after this.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is...
And we have a look here at that first goal scored in just 3 minutes into the contest by Kaylee Kozik. Let's line it up and show it for you here on the Beacons Broadcasting Network. So we're back underway here. The third goal in the early going scored by the Beacons. It looks for the time being to have been scored by Emma Webster. Second and third goals might have been deflected in front. That second goal was either scored by Margot Butters or Katie Wilberg. The third goal either scored by Emma Webster or Emily Hansen. But for the time being, it's going to be Webster from Cramp and Riefler as the third goal from the Beacons. And that second goal, if we get official confirmation momentarily, is Margot Butters from Kaylee Kozik and Hannah MacDougall. So how about that for a start for the Beacons? You have two players in Kozik and Webster, each with a goal and an assist, and the Beacons now back into the Viking zone and now on the power play, as that looks to be number 8, Jessica Robert, in the sin bin for the Vikings. So let's see, resetting the ice here. 5 on the ice for the Beacons. You have Gabby Shantz. And that's not Addie Buddington, actually. That's Kaylee Kozik out on the point. Hannah MacDougall out there along with Anna Gustafson and Margot Butters. So 3 defensemen, 2 forwards right now on the power play. Kaylee Kozik, 3 minutes and 31 seconds into the contest. Margot Butters, 6:50 in. And Emma Webster, 8:21 in. 3 goals in the first 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And the Beaks' foot still on the gas pedal here. Gustafson wheeling it around to Gabby Shantz. The defender drops it off. Man in the middle, slot shot Butters. That's a hard wrister that gets through after a tough save through some bodies from Avani. Gustafson applying the pressure here, walking it around the defense is Mackenzie Mallett. Beacons keep it in the zone. Loose puck in front, and it'll be walked out of trouble by, that's number 4, Kendra Courier. She gets it all the way down to Victoria Kennedy. Just one shot on goal so far for Salem State. The Beacons, 3 goals on 9 shots on target. Now they have a 3-on-2. Kozik with bodies in the middle. Kozik on her right-handed stick. She could have shot that one. Instead, the deflection goes wide left of the net. Beacon still in the offensive zone. Maggio spinning it back around to Liz Cramp. Cramp has a man crashing in. Maggio goes all the way across the ice to the left wing. It's deflected. It got back to the stake of Molina. She's going to have to hurry to keep it into the zone. Great defensive play by Isabel Besser, and she works a little shorthanded 2-on-2 for the Vikings. Wrister deflected. Will it get back to Victoria? Yes, it will. She'll put the glove down on it. And that finally, 10 minutes and 20 seconds into the contest, the second save made by Victoria Kennedy. Let's take a look at another replay here for the Beaks as the offense is clicking. That puck loose in front, and it was centered to Kaylee Kozik. Pounces right on it for the first Beacons goal of the contest. Going back the other way, Beak still on the power. Look at Liz Cramp all the way in. She flies on in. Big save made by Avani as Liz Cramp toe dragged right around 2 Vikings defenders. Set herself up with a beautiful opportunity on net. Big save for number 29 in net. The senior out of Melrose, Massachusetts. 10 shots on goal already for the Beaks. And Hannah Avani's been tested basically without reprieve here in the first 10.5 minutes of this contest. Another offensive zone draw for the Beacons. 11 seconds left in this power play, and I had the wrong player in the bin. That's actually Ashlyn Bennett, the defender out of Milford, Mass. That one's deflected in front. Cramp tried to go between the legs. She keeps it alive. 4 seconds left, maybe one last shot opportunity in this power play. Out of the box is Bennett. That one wheeled in and gloved. No problems there on the shot from Emily Hansen. We got to look here at the second goal of the contest, and that was scored by the defenseman Margot Butters. Margot's second on the season. There you can see they whip it around the boards. Margot has plenty of time, and when she finally gets to it, puts it in, a lot of bodies in front, nobody touches it, and that's Margot's goal from the blue line. So we're back underway here as a player takes a spill that allows the Vikings to regain possession of the puck. They can't get out of trouble quite yet. Now they are, but it's poked free, almost kept in the zone by Gustafson. Now Courier walking it down past the red line, entering the Beacon zone down the left flank. Courier centers, great play in front of the net by Gabby Shantz. That was a last-ditch opportunity. Good opportunity created there by the Vikings. Shantz at the right place at the right time, pokes it free. Now Isabella Henningsen-Brown looking to get it ahead to Adriana Crepaldi. Those are a couple of freshmen hooking up on that play, but it's turned over. Claire Giolino coming in, can't clear the zone. Player taken down on the play, and that's kept in for the Vikings. On the stick of Carolyn Mahoney. And finally, Henningsen-Brown comes back, finishes what she started, regains the puck. And the Beacons still being cute with it here. They haven't cleared the zone yet. It's on the other side of the blue line. Bodies flying. Ultimately, Giuliano gets to it. Back to Webster, and Webster clears the zone. Trying to spring Briggs, or pardon me, Franciscowicz, and Emily gets to it first. Can the Beaks keep this possession alive behind the net? They have a player crashing in at the blue line. It's Maggio. She can't keep it in. But nobody touching that, and so that means it will be an icing, and we can walk it all the way back to the Beacons' offensive zone. We've already scored 3 goals. Let's take a look at the third. It was the first, we believe. We haven't confirmed it quite yet. It's going to go down until someone tells us it's not, to belong to Emma Webster. And that's her first collegiate goal. Beautiful snipe from the blue line. Another offensive zone draw for the Beacons. They've won all but 3 of the face-off in today's contest so far. That one's behind the net. Circling around with it, Isabella Parati. And she gets it out of trouble for the time being. It's on the left-handed stick of Brenna Green. Green, I think that was a pass intended for Alexis Thomas, but Thomas not there nearly in time, and so we'll walk it all the way back for another face-off. Well, we've had plenty of offensive zone draws, and this offensive zone draw brought to you by our friends at McCourt Construction. Beacons win again. This one's back to the left wing, Hannah McDougall. She circles it back around the boards, and they try and get it underneath. They do. Katie Wilbert, using that body for leverage, tries to keep it tight for a wraparound. Can't do it. She lost it off the basing of the goal, and the Beacons turn it over out of trouble. Wow, but Kaylee Kozik right there to force another neutralized turnover. Has a player to her right in terms of Wilbert. Shovels it over in the direction of Wilbert. Katie chopping at it. Puck is still loose. And that's a really nice play by Isabella Parati coming out of nowhere to get that one free. And a great angled pass up ahead to Mallett. Mackenzie Mallett, toe drag, and she's cut off by Margot Butters. Very veteran play there for the sophomore Butters. She just was a better skater on that one, was able to loop herself back around and get to the puck first. McDougal tries to tip that one into the zone. It's played in by Kaylee Kozik. McDougal not ready for it. And Salem State recycling and restarting their offensive zone rush. That's a great play there by Maya Boyd, staying home on that one, tipping it free. Riefler shot, and it's blocked on the play. I believe that was Abby Stanford getting in front of it, and we have a whistle here as a player takes a hard hit into the boards, and I do believe we have a beacon headed to the sin bin. The guilty party looks to be Emily Hansen, and for the freshman out of Lake Villa, Illinois, everyone's got to have their first. That's her first collegiate penalty committed in the NCAA. She's into the box, and not an opportune time. The Beacons scored 3 goals in this game's first 8 minutes. It's been a pretty even back and forth most recent 5.5 minutes of hockey. The Beacons are still holding a dominating advantage in the face-off circle, but Salem State, dangerous opportunity here. It's an offensive zone draw, but it is won by the Beacons. And Gabby Shans looking to clear the zone, and she does just that. And how about Liz Cramp? Head full of steam. Can she get there first? Avani comes out to cut it off, but she doesn't clear it, and Gustafson whacks at it. Maybe a split second longer to line that one up, and she could have picked a corner. She doesn't get the shot off, and the puck is still behind the net. But that's a great start to your penalty kill with Liz Cramp shooting out of a cannon, getting to that puck first, and almost generating a chance. But now here's Catherine Lawrence. Plays it back. Wrister sent in, not quite. It's deflected on the play. Gianna Beauclair. Player I think might have broken their stick, and Kendra Courier. No, she's still on it at the blue line. Wraps that one, and it misses everything wide. Nice presence in front there from Gabby Shantz. Now Gabby behind the net. Plays it high off the sideboard. Great angle play, and that'll kill about 15 seconds off this PK for the Beaks as Shantz. She's a sophomore, but that was a very veteran play there, knowing the angle that she had around the sideboards. And so walking it back up is Kendra Courier. She's been on the puck quite a bit, slides it over to Mackenzie Mallett. These two have had to do a lot of puck moving out of the defensive zone here for the Vikings. That one's cleared out very nicely by team captain Melina Maggio. And you look back up at the scoreboard here at the Barry Ice Rink, just 40 seconds left on this power play. Remember, Emily Hansen, the guilty party, she's in the box right now for the Beaks. Brenna Green now 3-on-2, and that's offsides. The Beacons not quite in position there on defense, but Green a hair too early. It's going to be an offsides call, and we will walk it back. We're still on the wrong side of the red line, but at least we are outside of the Vikings' offensive zone. If you're just tuning in, you missed a hot and heavy first 8 minutes of action. Kaylee Kozik scoring her first goal of the season at the 3:31 mark from Emma Webster and Katie Wilbert. Then Margot Butters, her second goal of the season at the 6:50 mark from Kaylee Kozik and Hannah McDougal. And then Emma Webster, her first collegiate goal at the 8:21 mark from Liz Cramp and Allie Riefler. And right now the Beacons holding strong here with 10 seconds left on this power play. Parati slides a pass over. Lawrence, slap shot, deflected, not out of trouble yet. One last chance for the Vikings here on the power play. Lawrence loses it, and here comes Cramp, and she gets taken down. No call as the referee was helping the player get out of the box. Probably not enough contact to warrant a penalty there. Would have been nice to see with Liz on a near breakaway, but this is a bad turnover. Walking in is Mallett. She misses high. Pardon me, is that 19? These 3s, 6, 8s, and 9s, kind of tough for me to tell right now. I'm very sorry. That was Isabel Bieser crashing in on net for the Vikings. Misses that look high. Puck still in the zone for Salem State here. It's been even possession the past 9 minutes of play in this first period. The Beacons have really quieted off, and that was a big opportunity for Cecilia Curtin. She couldn't get a stick to it. Juicy rebound surrendered by Kennedy. Beacons survived to tell the tale for another minute. Glove saved by Kennedy as Lawrence sniped that one on in. It got around the defender's body, but an easy glove save for Victoria Kennedy. And we'll have another offensive zone draw for the Vikings. really paramount now for the Beacons to turn around the momentum in this contest. It was such a strong start for the Beacons, and right now it seems like they're kind of holding court right now. Salem State, the team knocking on the door. That one deflected in front, kick saved by Kennedy. Riefler there to offer some help, and she gets it out of trouble. And played back to Riefler, and how about this 3-on-2 for the Beaks? Riefler, left wing, centering, no! Cut off on the play nicely by Kendra Courier. And that's number 4 still on the puck, taking it out of trouble. Looks ahead for Stanford. Nice play by Butters to get it off the stick of Stanford, and the Beacons will reset. 5 shots on goal for the Vikings in this first period. Have yet to beat Victoria Kennedy. The Beacons have mustered 10 shots on goal, and they've beaten Hannah Avani on 3 of them. We ice down here, so once again, let's walk it back into the Viking zone. Unbelievable stat at hand right now. We have had 18 face-offs so far. The Beacons have won 16 of them. Just 2 face-off draw wins for Salem State, and I know one of them was the first draw of the contest. That one gets out to Lawrence. It can't get through a couple of Vikings players' skates and now sent up towards the middle. Henningsen Brown. She's played off the puck by Lawrence, and here comes Catherine Lawrence. Charging back ahead. Toe drag. Left-handed shot. It's still on her stick. That one got close to Kennedy, but misses wide to the left. It's still in the Beacon zone. Katie Wilbert can't play it cleanly. Michaela McGrath can, and she wheels it in the direction of Mackenzie Mallett. Mallett dispossessed by Wilbert. Wilbert sliding it back beautifully to Margot Butters. And so the Beacons putting on a clinic in terms of deep defensive success, but they haven't been able to turn it into any offensive zone looks. We have a delayed penalty here, so dashing in is Emma Webster. Webster shots deflected. It almost trickled through, and the Beacons will have their second power play of the contest. And they'll have a full power play before we reach the end of the first period, because look over at that clock. It reads 2:17. Headed into the box for Salem State, Michaela McGrath. It looked to be a trip. And so McGrath into the penalty box, and the Beacons for the second time today on the power play. Both teams 0 for 1 in their first trip to the power play. That face-off, it took a long time to win, but the Beacons do win it. Their 18th face-off win of the night. Now around the perimeter of the zone they go. Maggio on the left point. Maggio, wrister, misses just high. Wilbert's the only one there for the rebound. She has plenty of room to operate. Back across they go. Maggio walks it in front. Save is made. Hansen can't get a stick to it, but back there is Addie Buddington. Walks it in, deflected. It's still loose, and a great play there by number 7, Brenna Green, to get it out of trouble for Salem State. Beacons still have 90 seconds on this power play. What do they do next? Cramp, wheeling, eyes towards the net. Cramp, cross-ice pass. It's on the stick of Maggio. Deflected. It's still loose in front, and Hansen can't get the shot on, but Buddington slaps it in, and it's still in the zone for the Beaks here. Wilbert. Back to the puck, grinding, giving up a couple of inches to Jessica Robert, but she dispossesses her. Now Wilbert, left-handed slot, deflected in front, and that's off the stick of Hansen. I don't know if that deflection helped the puck more than it hurt it off the stick of Emily Hansen. 1 minute into this power play, the Beacons generated 4 more chances now. Yet to get anything past Hannah Avani. Looking ahead, Anna Gustafson now. Toe drag, can't get around Isabella Parati. Great defense for the senior out of Winthrop, Massachusetts. I'm not quite sure what happened here. Did the Beacons just get whistled for too many men on the ice? No. Or maybe they did. Still waiting for the call here. Some players looking towards the bench. I'm not sure if maybe there was a personnel change made that wasn't allowed. And that's exactly what it was. So on that Beacons icing, Katie Wilbert almost snuck back off the bench and got a line change in. But Hannah McDougall and Anna Gustafson not quick enough. The referee saw them, and so you have a very tired Katie Wilbert and Liz Cramp skating back into the defensive zone. And that for just the 3rd time, a face-off win for Salem State. They are 3 of 21 on the afternoon from the face-off circle. Shot goes wide, walked out of trouble by Gabby Shantz. In fact, ran out of trouble by Gabby Shantz. She has a head full of steam. She'll take it all the way in, gives the body to Kendra Courier, and dispossesses the puck. Katie Wilbert now on the left wing, 20 seconds left in this power play, centering to no one in particular, and once again it's Mackenzie Mallett first to the puck, and the team captain now doing some dancing here on the shorthanded rush, hands it off, shot misses just wide. Alexis Thomas with a pretty tempting opportunity right there. That still 5 shots on goal for the Vikings. Turnover in the zone. Rister misses wide off the stick of Catherine Lawrence, and it finally does clear the zone, and that's played into the Beacons bench by Michaela McGrath. And so that faceoff will be in the left side circle here, close to the Beacons bench in neutral ice. We have 12 seconds left here. This first period definitively, across most stat categories, has belonged to the Beacons. Pretty dead spot in the middle of that first period where Salem State was hanging with the Beaks. These past 3 minutes, a lot of that was thanks to a power play. The Beacons have been foot back on the gas pedal, if you will. 4 seconds left, so just one last clear opportunity for Giuliano. Oh no, puck is loose in front. It's still loose, and the Beacons saved by the bell, as that was a 10-second scoring opportunity, shorthanded for Salem State. They don't get it past Victoria Kennedy, and the Beacons will head to the dressing room with a 3-goal lead. It's the end of the first period. UMass Boston 3, Salem State nothing. We'll take a break, and when we come back, first period stats, scoring summary, and more after this on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown, and it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
Hot start to the Beacons leads to a 3-0 advantage at the end of the first period. Let's take a look at the first period statistics. Beacons got off to a super hot start. They had 7 shots on goal in the first 5 minutes. They end the first period with 14 shots on goal. Salem State registered 7 shots on goal. The goalie, Hannah Avini, 11 saves on 14 shots. Victoria Kennedy, 7 saves on the 7 shots she faced. If you want to look for anything that led to the 3-goal lead, there it is right there in the face-off circle. Beacons 18 of 21 winning draws. Both teams have committed penalties, and both teams are 0 for 2 on their 2 respective power plays. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. 3 names you'll love to see because it's 3 Beacons. Kaylee Kozik, coming off a 9-goal campaign last season, scored just 3 minutes and 31 seconds into the game, her first of the year, with assists from Emma Webster and Katie Wilbur. And then Margot Butters, the defenseman, for the second time in 3 games, scores at the 650 mark. She was assisted from Kaylee Kozik and Hannah McDougall. And then Emma Webster, as if that assist wasn't good enough, at the 821 mark, she scores her first collegiate goal, assisted from Liz Cramp. And so worth noting, both Kaylee Kozik and Emma Webster each have a goal and an assist in this first period. Let's take a look at the 3 goals scored by the Beacons in period number 1. There's Kaylee Kozik on the doorstep, and you can see the beautiful setup from Emma Webster. Nothing to it but to do it for Kaylee Kozik. Here's another look here. No one marking her. Easy one-touch shot, and she beats Avani high into the left side. And then this is, I think, less than 3 minutes later, the Beacons walking it around. Margot Butters gets to line up that shot from the point. There are bodies in front. No one touches it. So give the goal to Margot out on the point. You can thank Hannah McDougall's work to get the puck over to her, and then Katie Wilbert set a really nice screen. This is the 3rd goal, and that was from Emma Webster. She didn't even get to see it go in because she sends it in on net, takes a hit from the Vikings player, and it gets through everyone. Nice job there by Emily Hansen, who has her 2nd assist on the season, sending it out to Webster, who gets it past Hannah Avani. And you can see Liz Cramp full of excitement, cheering for her teammate in the process. All right, well, that was some highlights to a great start for the season. How about a team that is having a great ending to their season right now? The men's soccer team. That's my apologies. We'll talk about the men's soccer team momentarily. They're about to play in the NCAA tournament tomorrow. The men's ice hockey team, they won against NEC last Friday night. And so that's another team off to a hot start. We do have highlights for you. Let's take a look at the Beacons' 5-2 win over the NEC Pilgrims. And so the Beacons victorious in their first win of the season. That was their third game of the season, downing the Pilgrims 5-2, 5 different goal scorers for the Beaks. Around the NEHC, and we do have some scores to update you on, NEC and Plymouth State. Remember, that NEC Pilgrims team, the Beacons women's ice hockey team, already went up to Henniker, New Hampshire and beat them. That game scoreless through 1, 0-0. Elmira kind of expected this. They are leading at home over William Smith, just 1-0 at the end of the first. And Castleton, a bit of a surprise, up over Norwich at home, 1-0 at the end of the first. And we're a couple of minutes away from Southern Maine and Johnson Wales having their puck drop. That game starting at 7 p.m. We're about to have a quick word from our sponsors, but first we'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, McCourt Construction. Based in Boston for now 120 years, McCourt Construction is one of America's premier general contractors. McCourt Construction, building America since 1893. As I take a look at the scoreboard clock, 4 minutes and 10 seconds until period number 2 is underway, so we'll take about a 4-minute break. Don't go far. Second period coming up next. Beacons 3, Vikings nothing. We'll be back on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, powered by LittleEast.tv.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
A good citizen is someone who wants to make a positive impact, both in their communities and in the world around them. The Division III approach is absolutely the best approach out there for amateur sport because it wants student athletes to explore all parts of who they are. Be successful in the classroom, be successful in competition, be successful in the community. So our student athletes learn what it means to strive for and attain success, but doing it the right way and being good citizens.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce of Massachusetts. We recognize that we are truly here for a reason, and that recognition inspires us and drives us every single day.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics, helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Crowd heating back up here inside the Edward T. Berry ice rink. Both teams at the center circle, and we are about to be underway with period number 2. The Beacons out shooting the Vikings 14-7 en route to a 3-0 lead after 1. The Beacons without Kristen Briggs, who is serving the final 102 of her penalty, and so 62 more seconds on the power play for Salem State. And for just the 4th time this evening in 22 tries, Salem State does win a faceoff, but they have some trouble just getting it back out of neutral ice and into their offensive zone. Finally, it looks like Kendra Courier will be able to do so as she wings a pass across to Abby Stanford. Kaylee Kozik, Margot Butters, Emma Webster, your 3 goal scorers in the first period for the Beacons, who have been in a bit of an offensive drought now. It's been 12 minutes since their last goal. The Beacons 14 shots in the first period, but 7 of them came in the first 5 minutes, just 7 shots on goal across the next and final 15 minutes of period number 1. But that's a nice clear for the Beaks as you look up at the scoreboard, just 15 seconds left to go on the PK. Catherine Lawrence trying to get it out of the zone. She's still skating, feeling the forecheck there of Liz Cramp, and that one is off the glass, takes a high deflection, and it comes right down into the breadbasket of Cramp, who sends it into the zone and now picks up the turnover. Now Liz Cramp. Puck handling, can't get around Catherine Lawrence. Nice job there from 1-4, holding her spot on the left side board. She'll reverse course and send it back around the sideboard towards Jessica Robert, who can't clear it. Hansen hits the ice there, almost dispossessing Green in the process. She can't do it, and the Vikings still on the puck. This puck has been bouncing basically ever since we started the first period, or the second period. It's still loose. That was shot in by Allie Riefler, and the puck goes back to Allie behind the net. Quick wrist work there to free up some room. Maggio, wrister, and that's deflected in front. It hit a player on the Vikings. That one's sent in off the sideboards now, and Liz Cramp with a couple of feet of space around her goes to skate it behind the net. Keeps her head up for the centering pass. Riefler, and it's a huge save by Avaney. Hannah Avaney there with the glove. It deflects off Allie Riefler at point-blank range, and Allie still vying for goal number 2 on the season there. You got to think probably 7 out of 10 times that one's deposited in the back of the net. Hannah Avaney has had some prime-time saves in this contest. She's made 12 now, and that keeps the score at 3-0. We're back to even strength hockey here. 17:40 left to go in period number 2 as Margot Butters behind the net. Not out of trouble, though. It's kept in by Caroline Bennett. Across the ice they go. Gustafson pokes it free, and now she's charging ahead. Down the right side, centering pass, and a deflecting bat shot. Crapaldi couldn't do anything with it. It bounces around, and she can't get a shot off. That's unfortunate for Adriana Crapaldi, the freshman out of Brick, New Jersey. Does have an assist to her name on the season. Would have loved for that first collegiate goal. Instead, puck still loose, and it's still in the Vikings defensive zone. Gustafson, she started this possession with some hard-charging defense. Now the fight from Henningsen Brown keeps it alive. Wilbert skates over to it, wins the race, but can't corral the puck. And ultimately, Isabella Parati first to it for the Vikings. You have some tired players on the ice for both teams here, as it's still the same 5. That one retreats out of the Beacons' offensive zone. The Vikings can't change, though. Maybe they can here as the puck behind Gabby Shantz. Once again, a masterful job reading the angles on the boards by Gabby Shantz. Second time she's done that to get it through 2 Vikings and towards a Beacons teammate. Here's Kaylee Kozik with some room in front. Spinning, keeps it on her stick. Now back to Buddington. Buddington, Kozik, 1-2 play. Kozik, wrister. It's rebounded loose in front. And taking a spill, Hannah McDougall. She can't get the shot off. Kozik walking it around now. Out to Webster from the point. Blocked in front, and a huge save by Hannah Avaney, her 14th of the contest. And once again, her 2 saves to get this second period started have been huge, with Beacons threatening on the doorstep. We'll walk it over to the right side face-off circle as Emily Hansen lines up across from Carolyn Mahoney. And Hansen, once again, another Beacons win, their 20th face-off win of the evening. Here's Buddington. Back deep on the left point. They opt down low to Franciscowicz. Emily takes a spill. Hansen trying to help her out. Can't get to it in time. And now some room here for the Vikings. Abby Stanford charging in with a left-handed puck carry. Gets down into the corner, gets spun around on the play, and they'll go back out to Lawrence at the point. Lawrence, bodies in front, it's deflected, and it doesn't get into Kennedy. Nice job there by Giuliano to lift that puck out of the zone. Briggs is going to have to hurry to get to it first. Franciscowicz almost tips it back into the zone, and it does stay in. Great job by, believe that was Emily Hansen. Yes, it was, to poke at it. But now you blink and Ashlyn Bennett taking it back up the other way for Salem State. She's turned off the puck by Claire Giuliano. And now 4 players fighting deep in the corner. Giuliano spins to get some better leverage, and I think that might help her win the puck battle. Yes, Hansen gets it out of there, and now Emily Hansen with a little bit of room to maneuver up ahead to Franciscowicz. She takes a hard hip check by Alexis Thomas and is dispossessed of the puck. And now Thomas, rewarded for her efforts, skates it into the zone. Puck stuck deep in the corner. Addie Buddington wins the puck and dispossesses the stick from Michaela McGrath. And McGrath, without that stick, can't corral the puck, and it's almost out of trouble for the Beaks. Swung into Mackenzie Mallet. Mallet, pressured by Hansen. Puck's been in the Viking zone for about the past minute now. That slap deflected by Brenna Grace. Hansen has been all over the ice for the Beacons. She plays it out but can't clear the zone. That one's wristed in. It's on through. Kick save from Kennedy. Now they look ahead. Briggs once again trying to get sprung, and Brenna Green just a little more pep in her step. Briggs giving it everything she had. She takes a spill at the end of that run. And now Brenna Green, little toe drag. 3-on-1, takes it into Melina Maggio. Maggio can't get it out of trouble. Maya Boyd can, and that's the 3rd time we've seen the true freshman out of Buffalo, New York, with a timely clear of the zone. Here's Crepaldi, and that's offsides, as it looks like Henningsen Brown was just a step ahead of her teammate Crepaldi. And so the face-off will take it about 1.5 feet behind the blue line here on the near side wall. Beacons 3, Vikings nothing. All 3 goals for the Beacons scored in the first 8 minutes. This game has found a bit of a competitive balance here as we're 6 minutes into period number 2. Adriana Crepaldi wins the face-off, and back around the point the Beacons go. Nice decision there from Maggio, opting to not pass it into trouble. She'll do a 2-man game with Maya Boyd. And across the blue line the Beacons go. Centering in towards Crepaldi. Henningsen Brown's on the doorstep. Crepaldi opts to chase after it herself. It's going to have to be Gustafson getting to it first. Gustafson wraps around, shot, bodies in front, it's deflected, it's still on the ice, and it's carried out of trouble by Catherine Lawrence. Well, not yet. She'll circle it back around to keep it into the zone. That was Isabella Henningsen Brown applying some pressure. Bodies all over the ice, no penalty called. Kennedy clears it. Really nice play there to lose the stick of Jessica Robert by Claire Giuliano. And now if Henningsen Brown can dispossess the puck, the Beacons have an odd man rush. Big hit delivered there by Catherine Lawrence as Katie Wilbert. She's up, looks no worse for the wear. Nice play kept in by Hannah McDougall. Centering, it's still loose. McDougall still on it. Plays it out to the point. Gabby Shantz all the way back across the point to Maya Boyd. Wrister, and it goes wide, but Shantz on it first. Looks back for Boyd. Shantz taken off the puck. Really nice play by Isabel Besser. She dispossesses Shantz, carries it out of the zone, and now the puck played back to Besser. Lofts it ahead, and Salem State finally able to change that line. There's a loose stick still down in the corner. At one point, that belonged to Jessica Robert. Still without a home. Carolyn Mahoney couldn't get it through any of the Beacons, and that one cleared into the Vikings bench, and so not cleared out of trouble. But we've played almost 8 minutes in this second period, and this game has really leveled itself back out. 1 shot on net in this second period for the Vikings, just 2 shots on net so far for the Beacons. No trouble to report, so to speak, for the Beacons. They've lost just 4 faceoffs tonight, but this is a difficult defensive zone draw here. And in the circle for the Beaks, the true freshman, Emily Hansen. She's looked competent and capable in the face-off circle so far, and she wins another one. And now Liz Cramp, tasked with carrying this one out of the zone. She can't do it. Centering pass, that was dangerous, and it gets back out to Carolyn Mahoney. She centers it, puck still loose, and Abby Stanford cannot get a shot on net, but it's kept in by Kendra Courier and then turned over. Here's Margot Butters, 1 goal already today. She'll opt for the dump and chase. It's kicked aside by Avaney, but Liz Cramp gets to it quickly. And Liz Cramp, she's so fast with those hands, creating some space. Riefler keeps it in the zone to Cramp. Nice play there, hacked at by Webster, but not around the trouble as the puck gets all the way back to Margot Butters. And so Margot looking up, she opts to skate backwards. This is a dangerous job of puck handling, and Victoria Kennedy saving the day. And this puck's still not out of trouble as Henningsen Brown gets turned around on the play. Hansen can't clear the zone. Cramp does, and now Liz, she's dangerous with the puck, has some room on the wing. Liz Cramp keeping it alive. Ahead, spinning shot in from Henningsen Brown, and she almost beats Avaney wide into the left. Good timing there for the 4th shot of period number 2 for the Beaks. It's kept in nicely by Buddington, but no one there to get to the puck first as Henningsen Brown is stepped behind the action. 19 shots on goal now for the Beaks. 16 saves made by the senior Hannah Avaney out of Melrose, Mass. Played her secondary hockey at Austin Prep. Not the best pass there from Webster. It's turned over momentarily. Buddington there to bail her out. Really nice stick handling from the sophomore Anna Gustafson. And she didn't know that Isabella Henningsen Brown was headed off for a line change. Beacons might have had something there. This game has turned into a neutral ice affair as Michaela McGrath trying to send it back into the Vikings' direction. The Beacons, they've held this 3-goal lead for the past 22 minutes. A lot of neutral zone action, a lot of pucks deep in the corner. No real true scoring chances since that 3rd goal scored by Emma Webster. But here's one. Reaching back, there it is, and it's a goal! It was on the stick of Hannah McDougall. She couldn't slide it in, but I believe for the 2nd time today, Kaylee Kozik, yes, Kaylee pounces on that one. McDougall gets the assist, Kozik gets her 2nd goal, and the Beacons, halfway through this contest, stretch the lead back out to 4-0. At the 9:58 mark, it is Kaylee Kozik from Hannah McDougall. We might have had a secondary assist on that as well. We know that those are the 2 primary players, and the Beaks do stretch that lead out to 4-0. It was a Kozik goal that was the catalyst for the Beacons offense in the first period. Let's see how they can stack onto this. So Kozik, 2 goals tonight. They are her first 2 goals of the season. Remember, that is a 9-goal scorer from last year. Isabel Besser trying her hand in the faceoff circle, and that's just the 5th win of the evening for Salem State. Puck is behind the net, it's centered in front, and actually Kennedy covers it up. So that's the 10th save, maybe the 11th save of the afternoon for Victoria Kennedy. She hasn't been asked to do too much, but steady as ever. Victoria Kennedy, otherworldly numbers last season. She played in all 25 games. She started in all 25 games, going 12-13. While that record, a 500 record, this was a player with an almost 93% save percentage, 92.6 if we're splitting hairs, and she allowed just 2.35 goals allowed per contest, and that was with a young defense supporting her. So Victoria Kennedy, steady as she goes. That 10-0 loss at Norwich, assumed to be a blip on the radar in just an early season with some young players. You'll get games like that. Remember, that's a top 10 nationally ranked team. We have a delayed penalty now, so Kaylee Kozik steaming on through, no help on the play. She's able to get it back to Maya Boyd. Boyd has Butters, room, slapper, no, it's deflected over the net. Hard charging play there, and you want Liz Cramp to be careful that she's not going to be called for a penalty after the play. As it is, it's going to be an interference penalty against Salem State, and the guilty party for the 2nd time today, Isabel Besser. So Besser into the penalty box on an interference call. The Beacons 0 for 2 on their first 2 power plays, but holding this 4-0 lead. This would be a prime time to finally capitalize. The Beacons have yet to score on the power play this season. Even Salem State, they have a power play goal. They're 1 of 10 now on their 10 power plays, 1 of 8 coming into tonight. Around the point they go, that one's deflected nicely and cleared by Abby Stanford. Nice way to clear the first 15 seconds off of the PK for Salem State, but now look at this, head full of steam for Maya Boyd, the true freshman, looking for a center. Instead, will tip it around to herself. She gets helped out by Addie Buddington. Buddington deep inside the left point. Down low they go to Hansen. Emily Hansen, dispossessed of the puck, and now brought down in the corner. Great play there by Parati, but there's a lot of room now. Buddington in the middle of the slot. Down low on to Hansen they go. The Beacons trying to wrap it around the outside of the zone. That's the second time now Parati has taken down Hansen, and finally we do have that play seen by the referee. It took a long time for that whistle to blow, but the Beacons now will have a 5-on-3. Assuming it is Parati headed to the bench, and yes, it is. So 2 interference calls. You have Besser in the box for interference, still with 1:11 left to go on her penalty. And now Isabel Parati, 2 minutes in the sin bin for interference. You got to thank Emily Hansen for her effort there. She stayed fighting in the corner. No reprieve for number 3 Parati except to bring the player down. And so the 3 on defense for the Vikings. Kendra Courier, the left defenseman, Catherine Lawrence, the central defender, and then Mackenzie Mallett, the lone forward, the 3 on the PK for Salem State. Anna Gustafson in the face-off circle. She's been near perfect there tonight. The Beacons win again. This is Hannah McDougall circling with some room to operate. Slides a pass down low. Shantz down low on this power play here. 59 more seconds on the 5:03. Butters has a player crashing in. It's Kozik, shot saved. It's loose. It's a goal! In front, it's Anna Gustafson. As Shantz put it in front, Kozik puts a shot on net, and give number 7, Anna Gustafson, credit for that one. She's been fighting all night trying to make a goal happen. 6 goals last season, and her first of the 2022-2023 campaign. Anna Gustafson at the 11:56 mark on the power play. 1 out of the box. The Beacons still now have 1:40 on the 5-on-4 power play. So many bodies in front. Anna's going to be able to stay out there. We'll have to get the final word on the assist. Well, let's see. The referee's discussing this one. Not sure. Didn't hear any whistle or anything like that blown. So let's just see if the puck was played in legally or not. It was shot in, kind of hit in, carried in, and no goal. Don't count the goal, wave it off. So sorry about that, folks. It was loose in front. It looked like Gustafson more or less skated into the puck, and the momentum of skating into it was what got it over and past Hannah Avaney. I believe that means we're back to a 5-on-3. And so we'll fix it momentarily. So that graphic bug at the top of our screen, folks, that's not right. The score is 4-0 right now. Beacons did not score that goal from Anna Gustafson, waved off. A couple of different things you could have called on that, because you see Hannah Avaney getting knocked off of her skates on that play. Potentially could have been goalie interference. There's nobody in the sin bin for the Beaks, and so we're assuming that it was more or less called a kicking motion for the goal because of the way Gustafson skated her body into the puck, and that was how the momentum got the puck past Avaney. But we're still on a 5-on-3 power play for the Beaks, so reset everything. Still 1:40 on this 5-on-3. Beacons keep it in. Kozik has Butters with a 2-on-1. Butters, wrister, it's loose in front. Gustafson whacking at it. It's still loose behind the net. McDougall puts it on net. It's back out to Margot Butters. Some room here. Butters over, centering. Kozik walks it in, just misses wide to the left. That could have been the hat trick. Butters charging at it, can't keep it in. Courier does a nice job offering at it, but now Courier out of position, but so is Butters, but Butters keeps it alive. And here come the Beacons now, 4-on-2 if they want it. McDougall does want it. Can she get past the defender? No. Knocked off of her skates. Butters chopping at it, and they can't keep it in the zone. So at first it looked like Salem State couldn't do it, but they do kill off their first penalty, and now just 50 seconds left in a 5-on-4 for the Beaks. The Beacons now 0-4 on the power play on the night. Wilbert overskates that puck, and that's going to be a beautiful clear out of trouble by Kendra Courier. Playing a whale of a contest. We've had, looking at the scoreboard, a little over 33 minutes of hockey. You have to think Kendra Courier's played at least 15 of them on the ice. As that one turned over, but the hand's not quick enough from Addie Buddington. And the first two, it's going to be Alexis it's going to be Victoria Kennedy looping this one around to Katie Wilbert, who plays it behind the net. Ahead we go. Addie Buddington down the right wing, head full of steam. Trying to take on every Viking, gets past everyone, centers that one in front. That puck is loose, dug at the side of the net, and cleared out of trouble momentarily by Besser, but not out of the zone. Oh, toe drag, almost a beautiful goal there for Emily Hansen. It's a kick save at the last second by Hannah Avaney. And getting back to it, that is an icing at the last possible second for Claire Giuliano. She's just able to win the race. You can hear some upset Vikings fans in the Edward T. Berry ice rink. They thought Salem State got back to that one in time to ward off the icing. Instead, it's an offensive zone draw coming up for the Beacons here. UMass Boston, 23 of 28, make it 24 of 29 from the face-off circle. Now, Riefler in front. That one's centered towards Crepaldi. It's knocked out of trouble, but Riefler's still on the puck. Alley fighting in the corner. Hands that one off. No, can't work the handoff to Crepaldi. And this one carried up and out of trouble by Alexis Thomas. Thomas still on the puck. Sliding a pass over to Besser. Nifty job by Mahoney keeping it in. And now Mahoney going to have to give chase because Giuliano right there to read her intentions. They'll slide that one ahead. Henningsen Brown not ready for it. Giving chase on that one is Crepaldi, and so they call off the icing through the referees here. Beacons with some hustle. They can keep this one in the zone, and they do. Oh, but really good stick work there, but that's 20, Ashlyn Bennett, as she had a player, Adriana Crepaldi, lucking onto that puck and had a lot of momentum towards the net. Great job there by Bennett to throw the stick out and knock that one out of trouble. Webster vying for her second goal of the contest, misses wide. Poking away at it is Isabel Henningsen Brown, and she's first to it here with some help from Katie Wilbert. Puck still loose. Isabella Parati can't get it out of the zone as that's a great charge in by Emma Webster to keep it alive. Ashlyn Bennett back to the net. Margot Butters had it kept in for a second, then she kind of threw it in, no one in particular, and a really nice work by Mackenzie Mallett, one of the team captains for Salem State, skating and spinning it out of trouble. Kaylee Kozik put a stick to it. Oh, and there were two golden opportunities for the Beaks to work a breakaway, and now Salem State manufactures one of their own, but a big hit in center ice. And is that going to be an interference penalty? It is. Heading to the box, Michaela McGrath. And so the Beacons scorned the last time they were on a power play. Now 0 of 5 on the power play on the night. Thought that they finally got the power play goal, but it was waved off after Anna Gustafson looked to score her first goal of the season. Back on the power play here, the guilty party, Michaela McGrath, an interference penalty. And so now the Beacons, power play number 5. Let's see if they can finally capitalize. Face off one back. Cramp plays it over. Around the point they go. Buddington. That was a lackadaisical pass. It gets to Boyd. Boyd keeps it in the zone. I'm not sure what the Beacons are doing at the blue line here. Isabel Besser, probably the best on-puck defenseman. And just trying to pass it around her, that's not going to work. Cramp plays it in. That's going to be icing against the Beacons. And so, as we've seen with many of the power plays the Beacons have had in this contest, the first 20 seconds or so have left something to be desired. Not crisp play. They turn it over in their zone. The Vikings are even able to take it into the Beacon zone. And then just a half-hearted clear attempt leads to an icing. And so the Beacons, they are up 4-0, but they don't have the wind in their sails like a team that is up 4-0 right now. They do win the face-off. Can't get mad at that. That's their 26th face-off win of the contest. And now here comes Addie Buddington. No, not first onto the puck. Isabella Parati, we've called her name quite a bit, especially in this second period. First to it to clear some room for Salem State. But now Liz Cramp trying to stretch behind the Vikings defense. She's out on the left flank, toe drag. Puck doesn't get in towards Avaney. Instead, it's picked up, not carried out of trouble. Kozik keeps it in. Boyd can't trap it in the zone for the Beacons. Kennedy leaves the net to play it. Ooh, that was risky business for Kennedy. She handles it nicely. That one touched along the left sideboard, and it's turned over, and here comes Kaylee Kozik with a 3-on-2. Kozik drifting right side, centering past to Hansen. It's still loose. It's still loose, and the whistle blows with the puck loose in front of the net. Big hit taken in front by Anna Gustafson. You know she's been mixing it up, as she's known to do in her own right. Margot Butters and Kaylee Kozik sharing a laugh with her as Gustafson skates herself out of trouble. Well, let's see, is Carolyn Mahoney going to get pinned for a penalty here as she's headed back to her bench? No, we're just going to see a Salem State line change. But you know who is going to be pinged for a penalty? Brenna Green with that late in front of the net. So there's going to be penalties against players for both teams there for that extracurricular activity after the whistle. Kozik was in first. I believe Kozik probably got whistled for the retaliation after McGrath brought Gustafson down. Then Kozik came over. If we get replay of that, maybe if we have a replay of that, we'll try and pull that up for you guys at the end of the period. Didn't really see what happened, but we have two more players in the sin bin. Kaylee Kozik by herself for the Beaks. Michaela McGrath now joining Brenna Green joining Michaela McGrath, and so still a Beacons power play and still a 5-on-4. We won't go the 4-on-3 route. That one kept in by Margot Butters and kicked over towards Maya Boyd. Butters, wrister, it's loose, it's still loose, it's deflected out, and a big save made ultimately by Avaney as Katie Wilbert can't get to it in time. And so here's Margot Butters taking her time to make the next move. Nice touch to the puck there by Hannah McDougall. But the puck's still on the stick of the Vikings in neutral ice. Kennedy, easy save on that one, lofted in. And now we're back to even strength hockey as Green and Kozik have equal times on their penalties. McGrath leaving the penalty box, headed for the bench. And the Beacons, they kind of catch the Vikings in a quasi-line change, not able to take advantage of it with their personnel. As Kendra Courier into the right corner, out of trouble for the Vikings. The first 8 minutes of this contest, all Beacons. The Beacons have held the advantage throughout this second period as well, but as we are reaching the final minute coming up here of the second period, Salem State's got to feel good about how they've gotten themselves back into this game. Remember, their last game was a loss 9-0 at Elmira College, and doing everything they can to not let that game mirror this game here and let this game run away from them. Nice play to keep it in the zone by Gustafson. Out to the point, to the top of the point. Gustafson back onto the puck, and she's dispossessed at the last second by Catherine Lawrence. Melina Maggio with a really nice entry play. Ooh, toe drag. That puck is still loose and whacked at, and Michaela McGrath couldn't get a shot off. Carolyn Mahoney, probably one move too many there as that extra toe drag loses the puck for her. Kennedy has to reach down and cover that one up. Mahoney not saying quit and generates another chance. Kennedy makes the save, her 12th of the contest. Puck not out of the zone now, but 5 new skaters for both sides heading out for this faceoff. Beacons, 30 of 35 in the faceoff circle tonight. Can they win number 31? They can, and they do it easily. It's played back to Maya Boyd. She swings it around the boards to Kaylee Kozik. And we're in the final minute of the second period here. Beacons up 4-0. It looked for a second like they were up 5-0, but the goal from Anna Gustafson got disallowed. Kaylee Kozik scoring her second goal of the contest halfway through this second period, off an assist from Hannah McDougall. That's the aforementioned Kozik. I believe Kaylee on the puck deep in the corner, and she has it now. Fronting the net, a little toe drag to free some room. And this is McDougall playing it over to Maya Boyd. Boyd back to McDougall, 2-man game. Puck is loose in front. Kozik wheeling, or pardon me, that was Wilbert wheeling. Shot saved by Avaney. Wilbert being held, is able to play it over to Kozik. Puck loose in front, picked up by McDougall, almost chipping it over Avaney. And now all of a sudden, Beacons in the final 14 seconds, knocking on the doorstep and knocking forcefully. Puck is loose. It's still loose behind the net. Stanford opting to wrap it around, not lifting the puck up. One last slap into the zone, and that will do it for period number 2. Beacons, they had a 3-goal lead to hold, and they add one more to it. At the end of the second period, the UMass Boston Beacons 4, the Salem State Vikings 0. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, second period statistics, and in addition to the scoring summary. After this, on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown. And it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey. And that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
The University of Massachusetts Boston. It's just minutes from downtown, and the Princeton Review calls it one of the best values in the country. A nationally recognized institution of academic excellence and research, UMass Boston offers more than 150 undergraduate and graduate programs, 16 Division III sports, and more than 100 student organizations. To learn more about the opportunities waiting for you at UMass Boston, visit in person or online. UMass Boston, a research university with a teaching soul.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
We're rejoining you live here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. Your Beacons leading 4-0 after 40 minutes of hockey. You knew those 3 goals scored in the first period. It's Kaylee Kozik scoring her second goal of the night and of the season. At the 9:58 mark in the second period, Hannah McDougall assisting that goal, her second assist of the game and of the season. The Beacons with a couple more opportunities. Anna Gustafson had a chance on the doorstep. It looked to be in the back of the net. That goal was disallowed. Before we keep talking about that, let's take a look at the game statistics through 2 periods. The Beacons out shooting the Vikings 31-14 through 2 periods, so that's nice. The Beacons follow up a 17-shot first period with 14 shots in period number 2. The Vikings, they've been able to muster 7 in period 1 and just 7 in period number 2. Hannah Avaney being the bright spot for the Vikings. She's made 27 saves this evening. Victoria Kennedy, 14 saves on 14 shots faced. And look at that, the Vikings losing 6 out of every 7 faceoffs. The Beacons, 30 of 35 faceoffs won. 5 power plays now for the Beacons. They've yet to put a goal across. They are 0 for 5 in their 5 opportunities. And Salem State, just 2 true power plays still, as they were always playing from at least a man down in that second period, and they've yet to score. Now, we had some fireworks in the second period, and that came after a play on the net. It resulted in 2 different players headed to the penalty box. We have the replay of that. Let's take a look at that right now. I guess you saw it right there at the last second. Just that last little shove from Kaylee Kozik sent her to the penalty box, and Brenna Green was the guilty party for Salem State on that exchange. Now let's switch it up a little bit here, because as good as the Beacons ladies ice hockey team is playing right now, there is a team vying for an NCAA championship around Beaconville. That's the men's soccer team. We have highlights from a thrilling LEC championship win against previously undefeated WestCon. Let's take a look at them right now. All right, really sorry about that, guys. Live TV. We're having some technical difficulties up in the broadcast booth. When we can get you those soccer highlights, we will. For the time being, we will take a break here. 7:30 left to go in intermission, so come back in about 7 minutes, and we will have period number 3 for you. For right now, Beacons leading the Vikings 4-0. We're in second intermission on the Beacon Broadcasting Network.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears. that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
What separates UMass Boston from other schools is the fact that a large percentage of students commute. For me, it takes 2 hours each day to go to and from school, but every second has been worth it because the students that come here are serious about learning, they value their education, and understand where it'll take them in the future. This is what UMass Boston means to me.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity, there's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have an advisor helping you out, telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just the starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like that place that people want to go. What UMass Boston is able to offer to its young people certainly stands out to that mission that was set right out in the beginning. It's something UMass Boston should be and can be very proud about.
And we are back high atop the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. Thank you for joining us on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. My name is Chris Del Sordo, calling the action for you tonight. Your Beacons leading 4-0 thanks to 2 Kaylee Kozik goals. She has an assist tonight as well. Margot Butters, Emma Webster, the 2 other goal scorers tonight for the Beaks as they're up 4-0, playing a rather dominant first 40 minutes of hockey. For just the 6th time tonight, Salem State does win an opening faceoff, and they get it deep into the Beacon zone. Victoria Kennedy looking at the puck. She's only had to make 14 saves on 14 shots tonight. Knocking on wood as I say this, but yet to have been beaten, the junior goaltender from Winthrop, Mass. Walking the puck out of the zone, Addie Bunnington can't get it ahead to any offensive options for the Beaks, and so that one's turned back over out of neutral ice. And that, icing, there we go, waved off on the play thanks to the great hustle by Catherine Lawrence. This puck is still loose. It's on the deck in front, shot just wide from Alexis Thomas. She put that one on the frame of net, misses it about 6 inches off the left post. And now cutting into some action, Hannah McDougall, but she turns it over. And Thomas walking back in. Thomas shot. Save Kennedy. 2 saves in a row. Stick got caught up underneath Thomas incidentally. And so Liz Cramp now a one-on-one. Cramp down the left flank. She'll play it backwards. Gosh, it's impossible to stop Liz Cramp. She can't do anything with it on that run up the ice. But the Beaks with a reset. First minute 05 gone in this third period. Emily Hansen, she has an assist this evening, going behind the net there, trying to loop it all the way around to Melina Maggio. They get it to her, but not until the puck cleared out of trouble. Claire Giuliano, seeing some big minutes today for the Beacons. She's on it, looking ahead for Allie Riefler. Riefler takes a spill. Her momentum almost brought her back to that puck to keep it alive. Instead, it's turned over. But not out of the zone. Nice play there by Maggio to whip it down the backboards. Riefler behind the net. Allie stopping, spinning. Gets pinned against the boards by Abby Stanford, but the puck's still alive. And now it's loose almost back to the stick of Riefler. And it's kicked in by Allie Riefler. Ultimately, the puck does escape the zone, but not Beacon's possession until now. Brenna Green winning it, playing it ahead. Jessica Robert lofts that one in. And that'll be the 16th save of the night for Victoria Kennedy, maybe 17 depending on whose count you're keeping. Well, we do have 4 goals in this contest. In the second period, Kaylee Kozik scored one exactly at the halfway mark. Let's take a look at that goal right now. That was a beautiful job there. Katie Wilbert got that one into Hannah McDougall, who shot it on net. And as you can see, it gets all the way over to Kaylee Kozik. Luckily, she's naturally a right-handed shot, so she just has to reach out and send that one in. And that's how Kaylee got goal number 2 on the night and on the season. Look at this, 2 straight wins in the faceoff circle for Salem State, and that generates their 18th shot of the period. But this one's played out of the zone, and now Anna Gustafson. Head down, tries to charge through 2 Vikings, can't do it. Avani decides to play the puck, and she's in a bad spot. Isabel Parati took a hard hit on that play from Gustafson. She came up late, and she might be favoring that right wrist. Let's see if she angles to play any defense on the puck right now or not in this little run of it. Gustafson still trying to work this one off the boards. No one sees it. Skating onto it here is Cripaldi. Cripaldi can't get it on net. It goes wide, but Gustafson still fighting for the puck, basically mugging Isabel Parati off of the puck. But the Vikings hold firm, and they do clear the zone. That is an icing, so we'll take it back into the offensive zone. Nice to see here as we are 2 minutes and 54 seconds into this third period. The Beacons do not seem content on sitting on this 4-0 lead. Out shooting the Vikings 32-18 at this point. They've gotten 4 past Hannah Avani, but she's really settled into her own, has the senior out of Melrose, Massachusetts, after allowing those first 3 goals in the first 8 minutes. Around the net, Kendra Courier, she'll wing it back over towards Abby Stanford. Stanford cut off on the play by Kozik. Kaylee dumps it down low. And now they'll go back up to Emma Webster on the point. Webster, her first collegiate goal today to go along with her second collegiate assist. And the puck finds its way to Katie Wilbert. Oh, had McDougall in front. Rebound is deflected and loose. Oh, and that one got close to Hannah Avani on the play before ultimately getting cleared by Salem State. This is a 3 minutes, 30 seconds to remember to start this period, but the turnover there, Carolyn Mahoney dancing through, and a great play at the last second by guess who? Emma Webster spinning. She was the last line of defense for the Beaks, and she got that one back out of trouble. Dumped in, Kozik is the first to it for the Beacons. She can't win the puck off of Abby Stanford, but Stanford turns it over to Buddington. Buddington tried to dump it off down low for Emily Hansen and gets it to her. Hansen, the toe drag, doesn't free up the puck, but look at Riefler charging in. That one almost generated a scoring chance, and Allie Riefler is down in a heap, reaching to her face. She went low. You know, there's sticks, skates, pucks, all loose down near the net, and we're going to hope that Allie Riefler is okay. She gets back up to one knee now, reaching to her face. Don't see any blood on the sweater. Don't see any blood. So that, if nothing else, we have that going for her with Allie Riefler. And she's going to make her way off the ice very slowly. Riefler, a sophomore out of Binghamton, New York, has a goal in 3 games played on the season. As a freshman last year, she was looked at as one of the most talented newcomers. Great hands around the net for Allie Riefler. And now we're just going to hope that number 9 is okay, as she's in the middle of a promising start to her sophomore season for the Beacons. We'll reset the ice right now for the Beacons. It's Addie Buddington and Claire Giuliano in the defensive end for the Beaks. Kristen Briggs, the forward. Liz Cramp out there along with Emily Hansen. So Briggs on the puck right now, skating it behind the net, trying to clear some room. Looks like she'll take that right wing spot of Allie Riefler. Allie still talking to the trainer here, and it might not be a cut we're dealing with, maybe more like something with the ear. I'm speculating. I know I'm not supposed to do that as I'm watching her from the broadcast booth right near. If we hear anything, we'll keep you posted. It's nice to see maybe not potentially any sort of emergency cut situation or anything like that for Allie Riefler, but she stays on the bench. Beacons deep in the corner right now. With it is Kristen Briggs. She gets dispossessed and takes a spill. Really nice hands on the play to keep that one in momentarily by Maya Boyd, but it doesn't stay in, and now Melina Maggio retreating back very far to keep that one in. She gets it out of the zone, but not out of trouble. Mallet tried to dance through 4 Beacons. She danced through the first 3, but the 4th in the form of Melina Maggio gets her off the puck and makes her take a spill. Mallet goes feet first into the right side boards. The Beacons turn it over in neutral zone, though, but that was a really nice play by Melina Maggio, making Mallet look silly trying to play defense on her there. 5.5 minutes into the third period. Beacons still leading 4-0, but this is a wide open look for Green. Rebound saved by Kennedy. It's still loose on the stick of Stanford. That was the toughest save of the night Kennedy has had to make, as she had number 14, Catherine Lawrence, right in front of her. Big save, 20th save of the night for VK. Now around the post we go. Down low, giving chase, is Crepaldi. She ultimately wins it. The Beacons, they're going to get it out of the zone, but the real goal here is getting a sustained look on offense. Kristen Briggs almost lucked into it when she got back up. Instead, it's going to be sent in. That went right into the chest of Victoria Kennedy. She covers for her 21st save of the evening. Well, the Salem State Vikings, they took 7 shots in the first period, 7 shots in the second period. They've already taken 7 in period number 3, and we're barely 6 minutes in. And so you have to think this coaching staff, led by head coach Julian Giantonio, they saw something, if nothing else, on the entries into the offensive zone, and they're generating some chances. You got to play to win, you got to shoot to score, and Salem State, if nothing else, looking to erase this 4-0 deficit. 2-on-1 here, great deflection. Margot Butters was the last line of defense. She had Jessica Robert and Alexis Thomas on either side of her. She guesses right, gets the deflection, gets it to Victoria Kennedy, and the Beacons can exhale as they stop what might have been the most dangerous goal-scoring opportunity for the Vikings tonight. If you're just tuning in, 3 goals scored in the first 8 minutes. Kaylee Kozik, Margot Butters, Emma Webster giving the Beaks a 3-0 lead, and then Kaylee Kozik, her second of the night and of the season. 9:58 into the second period. Assists tonight coming from Hannah McDougall, Liz Cramp, Allie Riefler, Hannah McDougall again, Kaylee Kozik, Katie Wilbert, and Emma Webster. So you have a player in Kaylee Kozik with 2 goals and an assist. Emma Webster, a goal and an assist. And Katie Wilbert, she has an assist and looking for more. She spins it back in the direction of Hannah McDougall. McDougall, little 2-man game looking for Wilbert. It goes behind the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania native and all the way back down to Victoria Kennedy on her own red line. Well, if Victoria Kennedy did get a little tired, a little bored from sitting back in her crease without much action. You have to think this third period has woken her up quite a bit. 8 shots in the first 7 minutes here for the Vikings. They're still over that shot a minute pace. And you can never get mad if you're a hockey team generating a shot a minute. McDougal, she's been out on the ice for it seems like the whole third period. She can't work it free from the zone. And now Alexis Thomas. Thomas, got to give her credit. She has no quit in her. The first-line senior out of Barnstable, Massachusetts. She's been around the net quite a bit. Was just there on the most recent scoring chance. And poking at the puck in the neutral zone forces the turnover, but then it's given right back by Abby Stanford. Oh, bad clear attempt there for Gabby Sean. She does get it out of trouble. And now Liz Cramp deflecting the puck and not winning it at neutral ice. The Beacons could have had something there if one of them could have just taken it at center ice. Instead, now walking around is Brenna Green. Green sliding up from the defensive spot to play some forward right now as that one shoveled in one-handed by Caroline Barrett. Puck shot in front, and that gets through a couple of Beacons defenders before Liz Cramp picks it up and can't get it out of trouble, though. Briggs was the intended target. Now, right in the middle of the ice, Caroline Barrett walking it into the slot, and a great play on the recovery to poke it free. Now Hansen giving chase with Kristen Briggs. Both of them on the puck. Neither of them can win it into the zone. Beaks go for a line change, and now a late whistle here. It looks like Liz Cramp knows she's the guilty party. She's already in the penalty box. You could hear some Vikings fans rather intensely voicing their displeasure at how long it took the referee to blow the whistle on that one. But Liz Cramp into the penalty box. For interference. And so that has been the bulk of the penalties called against both teams. This is just the third power play of the night for the Vikings. 0 for 2 in their first 2 opportunities. Beacons have yet to score in 5 power plays as well. Hannah McDougal opting to try and do it herself with a shorthanded opportunity. She charges around 2 Vikings and gets that one behind the net where it's still not cleared from trouble. Both teams, if anything is a point of emphasis tonight, it's going to be getting off to a decent start, or maybe just winning the first draw of a power play, because we've had 8 of them tonight, and it hasn't happened yet, it feels like, that the team that has won the power play has won the first draw of that power play and created a good chance. That one is onside, so it's sent in by Catherine Lawrence. Back down to Abby Stanford. Stanford cut off and pinched by Margot Butters up against the board. Great one-on-one defense there as the Beaks kill off the first 55 seconds of this power play. Lawrence, lefty shot, it's deflected in front, it's still loose, rebound, saved by Kennedy. Great play by Victoria Kennedy as Kendra Courier got her hand on it, got the puck down, and skated right into a nice look. But Victoria Kennedy, 9 for 9 on save opportunities in this third period, and is spitting together all of a sudden a whale of a game for the Beacons in net. 23 saves on 23 shots. The Beacons have only mustered 1 shot on goal in this period. Make it 2 shots on goal, but Salem State with 9, and the puck's still in the zone with 49 seconds left on this power play. Mahoney and Parati working a 2-man game. They try to slide it down low to McGrath. Michaela McGrath. Around the perimeter they go. Here's Brenna Green. On the right point, across to Parati. Her slap shot one-timer misses and it goes wide. But once again, back, and the Vikings have all their bases covered. Green sliding it back to Parati. Now across the ice. That was a very dangerous play as Addie Buddington could have done better on the clear, but she gets it to Victoria Kennedy, who covers up, and the Beacons can exhale. But that puck is still deep in the zone, and now you have a Salem State team who is hot in the face-off circle, and I think definitively has the momentum of, if nothing else, this third period. They're still knocking on the doorstep. Can they break this clean sheet of Victoria Kennedy? That puck is into the crowd. I don't know how that one got through. It got up over the boards and just on the inside of the netting. And one of the players on the volleyball team has it in the second row. That's what I have for you off that deflection. 20 seconds left on this power play for Salem State. They are 0 for their first 2. Liz Cramp in the box right now, an interference call. With the exception of the offsetting roughing minors, it feels like we've had interference be the name of the game for guilty penalties. One last chance to generate a rush here in Salem State. Not too quick on the uptake as Mallet circled it around, and that'll kill off the penalty. Cramp skates back onto the bench. Wilbert skates onto the ice. And we're back to 5-on-5 hockey here as Salem State almost turns it out over the zone, and they do. Kozik now. She's first to it. Has two players to her left. Shades for the centering pass and couldn't find Hannah McDougal. Maybe rushed that a slight bit, but Kaylee's first to it, and she has plenty of room to keep it into the zone. Throws it in. Big hit delivered by McDougal away from the play. She wasn't looking, and she takes a big blow from Catherine Lawrence. Once again, this puck around the sideboards. Oh, it's deflected in front. Riefler vying back onto the ice. Nice to see Allie Riefler back onto the ice for the Beacons, and she had a golden opportunity on the near side slot. It's deflected out in front and will be an offensive zone draw. Score remaining 4-0 here. Beacons kill off their third Vikings power play of the night, and they will be rewarded with an offensive zone draw. Hansen lining up, and a rare loss in the circle for Emily Hansen, but Cramp gets to the puck first, and Shantz trying to keep it in, and Cramp helping, but no, the Beacons lose the zone, and now charging back out with it is Cecilia Curtin. Curtin gets cut off on the play by Hansen, and now Cramp and Hansen working a two-man game to get it through the first line of the Vikings defense and all the way to the backboard. Hansen chipping in with some help. Cramp dispossesses the puck carrier, centering pass. Oh, and Shantz took that one away from Allie Riefler. I don't think she saw how nice that route that Allie Riefler had in front of her was to maybe curl onto one around into the net. Liz Cramp puts a stick to that puck, and so that will wave off the icing. And Liz Cramp, puts the stick in there. It will be a late whistle, and it will be a hooking call against Liz Cramp, and she knew right away when she got caught with her stick in the cookie jar, so to speak, that she was headed back to the bin. And you don't need to commit that penalty if you're Liz Cramp. You have the speed to get back and recover on that play. That's a frustration penalty, and the third penalty committed by the sophomore out of Farmington Hills, Michigan. So Cramp back in the penalty box. Vikings back on the power play. This is their fourth opportunity. The Beacons so far 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. McDougal wins it back, and that one is played out of the zone. Kozik helps win another faceoff for the Beacons. They are now 35 of 48 in the center circle. Salem State up to 25 shots on goal now. They registered 7 shots apiece in the first 2 periods. They're already up to 11 in period number 3. Stanford tried to step over that puck and slide a pass back to Lawrence. She got dispossessed, but the Vikings still on it. And here's Kendra Courier back to Catherine Lawrence. Lawrence, eyes up, walks it across the red line, opts for the dump and chase. Butters can't get a stick to it. Margot Butters has played, it feels like, every minute of the Beacons penalty kill today. She's still out there again. She's going to be closest to this puck, and this is going to be a Vikings icing. Not what Salem State needed there, as the momentum felt like theirs. Back on the power play for the second time in this third period, and we'll walk it all the way back into the Viking zone. You never know, the Beacons might be able to win a face-off, generate an opportunity off a face-off win. There have been flukier ways to steal goals here. Beacons holding a 4-0 lead, but you'd feel a lot better if you were able to get one in this third period as well. Rister, that one deflected. That one almost found the right post as Gabby Shantz sent it in. Katie Wilbert first to the puck behind the net, but she's quickly skated off by Isabel Besser. Oh no, that was 14, Catherine Lawrence first to it. 14 for the Beacons. Gabby Shantz had it and was trying to find a looping Katie Wilbert. That would have been a nifty little short-handed scoring opportunity. Wilbert takes a spill, and Salem State with the puck behind the net. Isabella Parati gets it around Katie Wilbert and down the right sideboard, but Wilbert first to it at neutral ice, and she plays it back towards the Vikings net. Nice job there by Wilbert, just mucking up the works in neutral ice here as we're down to 23 seconds left on this Vikings power play. Wide open shot in the middle is Green. It's kicked out in front, and that was Alexis Thomas using her body to create a lane. The Green shot goes just wide. That's the 25th shot on goal now for the Vikings. They look down low in the direction of Thomas. Thomas, centering pass, had someone in front. She had Robert in front, but the centering pass gets just behind Jessica Robert. And the Beacons kill off another penalty. They are now 4 for 4 on the PK tonight. Salem State, though, still generating these scoring chances deep into this third period. Butters looks ahead for McDougal. No icing here as McDougal skates onto it and almost won it cleanly, but at the last second, Carolyn Mahoney got it back off of her stick. McDougal trying to help out Hansen on the back check as this puck's still loose in the corner. 5:28 left to go in the contest. Beacons leading 4-0. Kaylee Kozik, 2 goals tonight. Margot Butters, her 2nd goal of the season. And Emma Webster, her first collegiate goal. Your 3 goal scorers so far on the evening. Beacons have been holding court here, but now here's Hansen off the Kozik tip-in. Hansen had Gustafson to her left, couldn't get the centering pass to her. 5 minutes left in this contest now as Gustafson tried to get it to Henningsen Brown, and it gets through Isabel. Backing up the play is Emma Webster. She'll skate it all the way back to her blue line before feeding one to Addie Buddington. That one's touched up for a Beacons icing, and so the Vikings will get it all the way back in their zone. Hannah Avini having a game to remember. She allowed 3 goals in the first 8 minutes, but in the past 45 minutes of hockey has allowed just 1 goal on, let me do my math right here, on 28 shots. So she's seen 28 shots since those first 3 goals, and only 1 has gotten past her. Nice recovery for the senior goaltender out of Melrose. Here's Isabel Henningsen Brown, 1-on-1. Let's see what she does here. A little touch from Brenna Green knocks it off the stick of Henningsen Brown, and so she'll have to retreat to the corner. 4:20 on a running clock here as that one's sent behind the net. Beacons can't quite keep it into the zone. Buddington skated off the puck. And now here's Mackenzie Mallet. Toe drag. Kennedy knocks it free. It's loose, and it's off the post. The shutout continues. What an effort by Isabel Henningsen Brown. Kennedy definitely left the net too far. That probably should have been a Vikings goal, but Henningsen Brown, the true freshman, coming over and playing hero on the defensive end. She's a 5'9" freshman out of Portland, Oregon. And everyone on the Beacons owing her a thanks for keeping this shutout alive. Golden opportunity there as Thomas and Mallet both set up a play, and now here comes Abby Stanford. Lefty shot, centering pass, and it's saved by Kennedy in front. Oh, a beautiful save off of a golden opportunity. Alexis Thomas has been all around the goal mouth for Salem State, and Victoria Kennedy did not have to do much across the first 2 periods. They've asked everything of her in period number 3, and she has been up to the task. That is now 26 shots on goal for the game for Salem State, 12 third period shots on goal, and Victoria Kennedy has saved every one of them. That one played back, and a mishandle there, but a good recovery by Gabby Shantz, not a moment too soon, as Kozik helps her get it out of the zone. Wilbert offering chase, puck is knocked loose, Wilbur, almost scooped a pretty backhand goal, misses just high, and she takes a huge hit. Katie Wilbert has been lined up a couple of times this afternoon. That time, it looked to be Cecilia Curtin delivering the blow. Ashlyn Bennett backing up that play, swings it over to Isabel Parati. Parati dumps it in. Icing waved off, and so it's going to be taken back up by Claire Giuliano. Giuliano not around Catherine Lawrence. Instead, Lawrence fending off the Beacons defenders. Slings it over to Kendra Courier. Back they go to the top of the key, and it's between the legs and kept in the zone by Brenna Green, but now here comes Emily Hansen in a 2-on-2 with Liz Cramp to her left. Hansen, right-handed toe drag, shot gloved and held easily by Hannah Avani in the Vikings net. So we'll line it up one more time. Remember, the Beacons had a 30-35 face-off advantage through the first 2 periods. They've come back down to earth quite a bit here in period number 3. They win that face-off and take it deep behind the Vikings net. Crashing in front here and still fighting for it was Emily Franciskowicz. Just entering the contest for the Beacons. Here's a nice puck handling display by Catherine Lawrence, but she turns it over to Liz Cramp. Cramp trying to chip it ahead to herself. Can't do it. And Brenna Green wheeling it back the other way here, but it's turned over. Riefler, the right-handed shot, has the puck, drops it down low to Hansen. Hansen back to Riefler, shot in front, and it's saved by Hannah Avani. Riefler never really firmly had it on the stick, was reaching for it the whole time. Minute 40 left in this contest as Mackenzie Mallett takes a big spill, and Emily Hansen thought she had a clear right sideboard to walk that puck up. Instead, great fight from Alexis Thomas knocks it free for the Vikings. We got to keep our eyes on this as Alexa Thomas and Isabel Henningsen Brown sharing a moment against the board, so to speak. I hope somebody else for the Beacons saw that, because that wasn't... It's uncouth when you're losing 4-0 and you're going for that type of boarding play. No whistle, though, and so the Vikings still on the attack, and they're trying to get past Victoria Kennedy. Shot loose. Kennedy save in front. She had two Vikings right on her doorstep, Robert and Thomas, and Kennedy makes the save. All of a sudden, this has turned into Victoria Kennedy's game. She has had to make 13 saves in the third period. She had to make 14 saves across the first two periods entirely. We're down to 1 minute left here. Beacons need to win this face-off and get the puck out of trouble. They do. Can they get it out of trouble? That's step number 2. Walking it around is Maya Boyd, and she'll keep it on her stick. Boyd, the freshman, down the right wing, dumps it in behind the net. Wilbur gets to it. It's on the doorstep. Oh, handling in front. Kozik vying for the hat trick. The shot is deflected. Great pass there from McDougal to get it back out to Kaylee. But they're looking at Kaylee again. Kozik, centering pass to Wilbur. Wilbur knocked off the puck, and finally it does draw a penalty. Katie Wilbur has just been a ragdoll on the ice for the Beacons, and finally her efforts don't go unnoticed. It will be a trip to the penalty box for number 16, Isabel Bieser. Oh, that's part of me, number 26, Abby Stanford. 26, not 16. Stanford now talking to her teammate. That's fellow goalie Dana Smullen, seeming a bit exasperated and having some words for Katie Wilbert after that play, too. It's an interference call against Abby Stanford. Quick word with her head coach, Julian Giantonio. Well, he looks to agree with his player's plight. And so Salem State is going to end this contest with a player in the penalty box. 20 seconds left, so this is all ceremonial here for the Beaks. Walking it up is Kaylee Kozik. Maybe one more opportunity to get that hat trick. The shot misses wide to the left. Wilbert keeps it into the zone. 8 seconds, and they'll just wing it around the zone here. Boyd across. Well, let's see, one more opportunity. No, the centering pass doesn't find anyone, and that will do it. You can thank the first 8 minutes. Maybe you can thank Victoria Kennedy for the last 52, but whoever you want to give thanks to, the Beacons win 4-0, and now are 3-1 on the season. Final score from the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink, the UMass Boston Beacons 4, the Salem State University Vikings 0. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, the game's final statistics, final scoring summary, and 3 stars of the night. After this, on the Beacon Broadcasting Network, brought to you by LittleEast.tv. Hey, viewers at home, do you guys remember that soccer game I told you that you were going to see highlights of at the end of the second period? Well, the game just ended, but we have it for you now, and while we compile the final stats, why don't you take a look at UMass Boston's victory in the LEC Conference Championship game over WestCon.
UMass Boston men's soccer on the road taking on WestCon in the Little East Conference Championship game. The Wolves, nationally ranked 20-0-1, had not lost since last year's LEC Championship game against Eastern. And right here, Peyton Blinn has Casamel Ashkar beat at the net, but it goes off the post. The rebound just wide of the goal mouth. We remain tied at 0. Not a lot of shot opportunities for either team in this one. A big defensive battle. Just 2 shots and 2 saves apiece on goal for both teams, as you see Ashkar's save right there. And then this foul in the box by the Beacons would lead to a penalty kick for WestConn, a chance to swing momentum in their favor in the second half. And Eric Laurent denied by El Ashkar in net. Score remains tied at 0-all. And then Ryan Lima with a shot opportunity right here to help give the Beacons the lead, possibly in the final 10 minutes. Lima, the header at Zachary Benson in net. It's corralled for the save, and we end up heading to a penalty kicks, and WestConn would end up subbing in Matthew Silva in goal for the penalty kicks, who makes that save on Nick Braganca in the first round. So the Wolves now have a chance to take the lead, and Franz Muhai against El Ashkar goes straight up the middle. El Ashkar diving to his right, cannot make the save. It's 1-0 WestConn after the first round. Diego Guichol and Silva would have some words back and forth here. Fakes left, goes right, challenging him, and knots it up at 1-all. But then El Ashkar net would be unable to stop Caden Tahoe's shot. Tahoe goes straight up the middle, makes it 2-1 WestConn. The Beacons, if they want to stay alive in this, need to save from their goalie and keep scoring. Ryan Lima fakes left, goes right on Silva, freezing him up. It's 2-all, but now El Ashkar needs to come up with a big save, and he would do so against Jordan DaCosta. The third time is the charm as El Ashkar dives to his right and stops DaCosta's shot from going in. So now the Beacons, heading into the fourth round, have a chance to take their first lead of this one, and they would have to do so with the freshman Luan Cruz taking his first ever penalty kick, and he beats Silva straight up the middle. As Silva dove to his right, it's now 3-2 Beacons. But can El Ashkar come up with a big save to help keep that lead going into the fifth round and put them in a situation where they just need a goal to win? He would have to face off against Philip Dutra, and El Ashkar would end up being up to the challenge as Dutra takes his time walking in and then kicks it to his left. And El Ashkar with a sliding save. The Beacons, either a goal or a save in round number 5, would give them the Little East Conference Championship, and it would be Mon Albahesi taking the shot against Silva with a chance to win it. Albahesi straight up the middle, and Silva dives, just unable to get it, and the Beacons knock off the nationally ranked WestConn Wolves to win their 4th ever Little East Conference Championship. UMass Boston, an undefeated 4-0 in Little East Conference Championship games, as they win this one in penalty kicks 4-2 and advance to the NCAA Division III tournament kicking off this weekend. They will take on Tufts University. As you can see, everybody from the Beacon side going crazy. WestConn in utter defeat as they drop their first match of the season against their Little East Conference rival, the Beacons. You see here Josh D'Almeida with the championship trophy, and the team can celebrate now. They are Little East Conference champions for the 2022 season.
And we are back here at the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. The Beacons victorious over Salem State. 4-0. And they move to 3-1 on the season and 2-1 in the NEHC in the process. With the loss, Salem State moves to 0-3, and 0-3 in the NEHC. A final look at statistics. 36 shots for the Beacons. They outshoot the Vikings by 9, 36-27. Beacons win the face-off advantage over the Vikings, 40-14 in 54 opportunities. Neither team successful on the power play. The Beacons going 0 for 5, the Vikings going 0 for 4 in their shared opportunities. Now let's bring up the scoring summary here as 4 goals scored in this contest. The first goal scored by Kaylee Kozik at the 3:31 mark of the first period. And then the second goal scored by Margot Butters just 3 minutes later on a beautiful play from the blue line. That goal was Margot's second of the season. Just a minute and a half after that, very similar looking goal and the first goal in the collegiate career of Emma Webster. Just a snipe from the blue line for the true freshman. And the final goal, the second of the night, end of the season for Western Pennsylvania's own Kaylee Kozik. Have it 4 goals all scored in beautiful fashion en route to the Beacons' 4-0 win over Salem State. Really quickly, we would like to take a look at our 3 stars of the night. Kaylee Kozik going to be the game's first star of the night. 2 goals, her first 2 of the season. She's coming off a 16-point campaign. She tacked on an assist as well. Emma Webster, most of the time, if you get your first collegiate goal in a game where you also get an assist, you'd be the first star. Emma's going to have to settle for second star tonight. And then Victoria Kennedy, a clean sheet. Her first of the season, her 3rd win, 27 saves, 0 goals allowed. Really quickly, before we sign off, we want to remind you the Beacons' next game tomorrow, right here at the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink against the Wolves of Southern Maine. That puck drop at 3 p.m. You can watch that here on the Beacon Broadcasting Network. And that'll do it for us here high atop the Edward T. Berry Ice Rink. I couldn't have done it, and especially tonight, I could not have done it without the production team. They picked up my slack a lot. Our producer tonight, he's not here. He's in New York hanging out with the soccer team, but we'll say hi to Michael Vesci. Max Clifford, our director tonight. Mike Gura, Mariano Jimenez, and Gina Albano, our camera operators. Elena Albano, the replay operator, and right next to me, Tam Landry on graphics. My name's Chris Del Sordo. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, guys. Have a great Friday and a great weekend around Beaconville. Men in the NCAA tournament. That game tomorrow at 1:30. Ladies play again here at 3. Have a great night and roll Beaks.